Isaac, welcome to our club.
Yes, Craig. Good afternoon, and thank you very kindly, and thanks for inviting me.
Don't mention it. We should thank you more for honoring the request. Thank you very kindly for coming, and others as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Toastmaster Isaac, it's good to see you.
Toastmaster Josephine, it's good to see you too. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much.
All right, in 3 minutes' time, the meeting is going to get underway. Toastmaster Lucy Chima, jolly good afternoon, ma'am. Toastmaster Lucy Chima. Your microphone, ma'am, your microphone, you're speaking, but your microphone is switched off.
Today.
Jolly good afternoon.
Yes, this next meeting, I'd like to speak.
Oh, ma'am, I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I said I missed speaking today. You know, my project. The next meeting, I would like to speak.
All right, ma'am. That's splendid. I am thrilled to hear that.
Thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a minute, we are going to commence the meeting. All right, it's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 4 p.m. here in Nigeria. My name is Toastmaster Craig Esokwode. I am the club's Vice President of Education, and I am doing this at the behest of our club's Sergeant at Arms, who is regrettably absent today. Welcome to Merit Toastmasters Club. This is our second meeting for the month of May. And for the convenience of our guests, Merit Toastmasters Club is under Area 19, Division F of the Toastmasters District 94. Before we delve into the sequence of the meeting, we are going to recite collectively, of course, the national pledge and the Toastmasters promise, respectively. I'm going to do them on your behalf, but you can partake in the experience without having to unmute your microphone. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Next up is the recitation of the Toastmasters promise, or the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to do this as well on behalf of everyone. As a member of Toastmasters International in my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values or integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. All right, here are a handful of guidelines that we can keep in mind as we segue from segment to segment in the course of the meeting protocol. The first one is we can use the chat box to exchange or share ideas or share our impressions about the meeting, but we have to abstain from discussing issues revolving around religion, politics, and sexual orientations. Why, you ask? These issues are considered to be universally or globally divisive. Next up, we show our speakers respects, and we want them to concentrate when they are speaking at the spotlight or at the lectern. As a consequence, we would encourage all of you to please abstain from using the chat box when a speaker is at the lectern. This would enable them to concentrate on the delivery of their message. Those few tips would help our meeting to be civilized, orderly, and organized. And we would encourage or admonish all of you to please be compliant of them. All right, now I would invite and introduce the president of our club to share his inspirational insights and declare the meeting open. Are you ready? If you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen, please give me the thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. I need the assurance.
Yes, we are.
All
I
right.
couldn't find my thumb.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you all very kindly for the feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of our club is a writer and a communication consultant. His Toastmasters journey, you would be stunned or intrigued to know, began way back in 2013, and he has maintained membership in not only our club, but also in Aso Stars Club and Uyo Premier Speakers Toastmasters Club as well. He's a gentleman who has earned the highest award that the Toastmasters can confer on any of its members around the world, the Distinguished Toastmaster Recognition. Our club's president at the moment is the incumbent Club Growth Director 2 under the auspices of Division F. With a resounding round of applause, please join me to welcome to the spotlight our club's president to present the inspirational insights, Distinguished Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga.
Thank you very much, our Vice President Education and our Sergeant at Arms for the day, Toastmaster Craig Esode, for your introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second meeting of Merit Toastmasters Club in the month of May. I greet all distinguished Toastmasters on the call, all distinguished Toastmasters, our members, and of course the guests here present, including those joining us from YouTube and the Facebook live stream. The theme for today's meeting is Ignite the Flame. Now, flames are the glowing gaseous parts of a fire. And what is fire? Fire can be a lot of things, and off the top of our heads, we might want to think of fire as something that burns, something that destroys, but actually fire is an element of creation. If we think of fire, we think of molten magma, and then we think of the creation of an igneous rock. You can think of fire, you can think of plants and animals, you can think of the creation of food. You can think of fire as something that creates change. Now, how does fire create change? When the flames come to life. And how does the flames come to life? When it has been ignited. Just like fire, all of us here, we have latent fire within us. That condition that suggests a flame that is burning within us, something that we can call zeal or passion, and that can create change in the form of growth, in the form of creation of artwork, in the form of progress in any form. But that latent fire within us can never erupt into flames unless we ignite it. And that's the charge that the theme of this meeting tells all of us today, that we shouldn't lax with that latent potentiality within us, but we should ignite the flame within us. And how do we ignite this flame? If you're a writer, it could mean just beginning to write something, another page. If you're a speaker, could it mean just going ahead, put yourself out there and speaking? Whatever your line of work, whatever your calling, there is always the smallest unit of action. And that smallest unit of action is the key to igniting the flame that can create lasting change in your life. And that's the charge that I have for you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, don't just own that potentiality. Rather, do what? Ignite the flame. Now I move on to another assignment I have before I step aside, which is to introduce the person who is going to host this meeting, or the words, the master of ceremonies, or like we say in Toastmasters, the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of this meeting is an entrepreneur. The Toastmaster of this meeting is the Sergeant at Arms of Lento Toastmasters. The Toastmaster of this meeting is someone who loves to shop. But beyond all of that, she's someone that I have deep admiration for, because she can be described by the word like indefatigable. If you know her, you would know this about her. She can be described by a word like prolific. If you know her, you will know this about her. And she can be described very, very accurately by the word ebullient. If you know her, you know this about her. Who is this lady? She is the lady who believes that nothing good comes easily. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together virtually for our ebullient Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Josephine Addo.
Thank you, our ever stunning looking president, for that introduction. At some point, I was wondering if I was the one you were introducing. Thank you so much. Good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests. Yes, talking about fanning those flames or igniting those flames. In the words of Gather L, trust yourself. Create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning or igniting the tiny inner spark of possibility into flames of achievements. The intriguing part of this is that each and every one of us have greatness in us. And it is when we begin to fan or ignite all of this flame in us, which are greatness, then we begin to see what we can achieve in ourselves. And that is the theme of the meeting, ignite your flame. I am Toastmaster Josephine Agolo, as earlier introduced by the president of the club. I will be ensuring in this auspicious meeting that we move from one segment to the other seamlessly. The meeting promises to be an exhilarating one, and at some point we'll be saying things that will be helping us to fan or ignite our flames. Before we dive into the meeting proper, it is paramount that I remind us of the Toastmasters International, what it's all about. It is a non-profit organization founded by Rafsid Smiley on October 22, 1924 at YMCA Santa Ana, California, United States. What was the purpose? The purpose was to help young people improve their communication and leadership skills. And that is the sole reason why we are here, to upscale our public and leadership skills. And in that line, the Toastmasters Club is divided into 3 parts. The first segment, which is the extemporaneous speaking segment, where we are met to speak off the cuff. Then the second segment is the educational segment, where Toastmasters have prepared speeches based on what their pathways demand of them at the moment. And the last, which I call, is for me, is the best part. It is a time where we get feedback of all that we're going to be doing in this meeting. The evaluation segment. That is the best part for me. And I will not be doing this all alone. I have a team of seasoned and experienced Toastmasters that will be doing this with me. And it will be anchored by our general evaluator. But before I move into introducing our general evaluator, I would like to bring to the virtual letter our joke master. Our joke master will be giving us a note of levity that will help us ignite our flame for today. Sorry. He is an industrial designer. He has 6 years experience in radio broadcasting. His recreations are painting, drawing, and writing. He is Toastmaster Ajola Oluwa Badaru. Hope I got that name correctly. I'm sorry. You may have a virtual letter. Please join me with a virtual letter as we welcome our joke master.
Thank you very much. I mean, I'll give you a roll of 10 for pronouncing my name the way you did, but it will pass for now. Right. I'll just go straight right to it. Okay. Right. Can you see my screen very well, please? Are you able to view my screen?
No.
Hello? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but not
Yes.
your screen.
Okay. So, well, very quickly, I mean, my role here today is to at least chair this house considerably well. I hope that in the course of it, I'll be sagacious enough to relate to or to draw from the energy that we all have in the room today to indeed spark our lights so that we can actually burn like fire. Already you can see what my screen shows, but besides what you see on my screen, I will very quickly run through a joke that I held on to for quite a while. And it's a typical classroom setting. It turns out to be the mathematics class. And so the teacher walks in this day and he says, "Oh, class, good afternoon. And today I will introduce the topic to you, trigonometry. The name might be long and it had to do with things that you are hearing of for the first time, but I want you to be as open-minded as it is a very interesting subject and it's rather very, and I want you to be creative with it. It's all around you. Your whole environment speaks trigonometry." So he says, "Look, I'll ask you a few questions, and right after that, I would like you to, of course, give each other a round of applause. Mark my word," he said, "please give yourselves a round of applause." This young man who took the word as well to be very creative, said, after the teacher had written a trigonometry question on the board, and he thought that his classmate had gotten it correctly, he said, "Sir, at this point, can I give my fellow classmates a square of a minus?" And everyone was wondering what he actually meant. He said, "Sir, you had already said we should be very creative about it. And this is the trigonometry class. And I think that instead of a round of applause, we should give him a square of a minus." Well, I don't know whether you caught on to that joke, but there's something funny in that line. I don't know whether you caught it, but it's something that I held on to for a while. And I mean, the first time I heard it, it was a bit funny to me. But that's about the time I have with you to share something from my very remote arsenal of jokes, and I hope that you caught on to that. But please let us continue to keep our potentials open and spark them by the interaction that we get into with others in this club, and of course those outside the club. Thank you very much. I hope we have a wonderful meeting today.
Thank you very kindly, our joke master. Thank you so much for the manner in which you handle that segment. Awesome. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to be anchoring this meeting alone. I'll be doing this with my team members. And the first person on my team that will be introducing his team members is, I see him as a father, in fact, a daddy of this club. Anytime I see him on my screen, I'll be like, wow, a grandpa will look this fine. I want to be like that when I grow up. He is a neurologist and homeopathic health consultant. He is the chartered president of Mary Toastmasters Club and a past director for District 94. His guiding philosophy is keep the main thing the main thing. Join me with a virtual round of applause as a welcome our general evaluator, the chief evaluator, DTM Abayomi. Let me end it there. You may have the virtual letter.
Thank you very much. Our dear Toastmaster of the day. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests in our midst. It is my duty on this occasion to serve as your chief evaluator. And what do I mean by chief evaluator? That is the one who is going to head the team of those who will give feedback on everything we do at this meeting, individually and collectively. One of the strongest points in Toastmasters is that we get feedback on everything we do. And it is based on wisdom. Because if you do something and there's no reaction or no feedback, you really cannot know the effect of what you have done. But when you know the effect of what you have done through feedback, then you know what you should strengthen and do more of, what you should correct or do less of. And specifically, this evening, we're going to have 4 people joining me in this task of evaluation. The one who will tell you about the hours that you commit, the language evaluator, there'll be the quiz evaluator, and there will be the one who will give you feedback as far as the way we have spent is concerned. And I, on my part, will be evaluating every single thing that goes on at this meeting. I shall give you our feedback at the appropriate time towards the end of the meeting. So let me now start with Toastmaster, who will be our counter today. He is Razak Odejayi, a graphic designer and brand strategist. He helps people and businesses to achieve their goals through creative visual communications, branding, and marketing strategies. So, as I ask Toastmaster Razak Odejayi to please take the virtual lecture. Toastmaster Odejayi, please. Let's hear about your role.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Professor of the Day, Ian Bayon Shimoju. Not that on the table, good evening. The purpose of the hard counter rule is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pop filler. By anyone who speaks during the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I also listen for filler sounds, such as I will stop there. I will also listen to speakers who repeat words or phrases, such as or this means, you know. At the end of the meeting, I would be called upon to give my report. That is when we would know who has the greatest record of accounting. And I can assure you, this is not a competition you want to win. Back to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Odejayi, for that introduction of your role to the House. Next, I'd like us to listen to one who will be a language evaluator. So tell him what that means himself. I'm asking Toastmaster Isaac Ogboada Yegbe Isaac is an occupational health safety and quality management professional. He is a graduate member of the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health. Isaac enjoys swimming, learning, and listening to music. With a round of applause, help me welcome to the virtual lectern our language evaluator, Isaac.
Thank you very kindly, the general evaluator. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you in my own case.
Okay, thank you very much. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And interestingly, I am a guest in this meeting, but I am a Toastmaster from Ikeja Toastmasters Club, and I will be playing the role of the grammarian as I've been introduced. In the words of Alvin Toffler, the American futurist, he says that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Here at Toastmasters, very important at every of our meetings is learning. Not only do we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. The role of the grammarian is one avenue for learning, for unlearning, and relearning. In my role as the grammarian, my responsibilities are mainly three. The first of my responsibilities is to listen out to the use of grammar and identify areas where grammar and words have been properly used and pronounced. I'd also listen out for areas where improvement is needed. And thirdly, I will be introducing the word of the day. And for our meeting today, our word of the day is sagacious. Sagacious. That is the word of the day. I'm trying to share my screen so we can have a view of the word. The word of the day, like I earlier mentioned, is sagacious. Sagacious. The meaning of the word is showing an ability to make good decisions. So to use this word in a sentence, I could say the message of her speech is sagacious, and its synonyms are wise, discerning, prudent, perspective. So I'll encourage us all in our speeches and presentations to make very good use of this word today, as I will be coming back to the virtual lectern to give my report when called upon to do so. Thank you very kindly, and back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much for that thorough into as the language evaluator for today. Next, I'd like to call on the quiz master for this occasion, in person of none other than ETM Ubi Uyanga, a writer and communication consultant, and who happens to be the president of our great club, the Merit Toastmasters Club. Please welcome the virtual lectern, Ubi Uyanga, DTM.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most basic of all human needs is the need to understand and be understood. And the best way to understand people is to listen to them. That quote by Dr. Ralph Nichols tells us that kindness, or rather that listening is the loudest form of kindness. And that is one of the things that we practice in Toastmasters meetings every time that we attend. So in my role today, I am not going to do anything, but I am going to measure, to quiz all of us to know how well that we are building this capacity to listen, because it is a progressive thing. We cannot all, nobody operates at the highest form of listening, but rather it is something that we work on each week in, each week out, to make sure that we are better able to listen to others and show people kindness. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be listening to every speaker today, and I will pick some words, some comments, some remarks, and at the end of the meeting, the general evaluator shall invite me back and I shall quiz all of us to see how well that we listened to all the speakers today. That is my duty today, and I give control back to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much for that succinct introduction of your role, Distinguished Toastmaster Kubi Kuyanga. We shall now move on to the timekeeper for today in the person of Francis Ehiabi. Francis is the Vice President Education of Tutors and Trainers Toastmasters Club. He is a mechanical engineer who enjoys philosophy. He loves to read, to write, and to listen to podcasts. Please join me with a cheerful applause as I ask Francis Ehiabi to take the virtual lecture. Francis Ehiabi.
I appreciate you, the General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role is very simple. I am to monitor the proceedings of this meeting by using different time cards. Time is very crucial, and it's indeed something that we don't use the most. So for that, or for this meeting, I shall be timing us speaking with these three cards. This meeting has two segments. We have the educational segment and we have the evaluation segment. For the educational segment, we have 3 speeches. The first speech is for 4 to 6 minutes. And at 4 minutes, I will be raising the green card. And at 5 minutes, I will show the yellow card. And of course, and at 6 minutes, I will show the red card. The speaker has 30 seconds to round off his or her speech. We equally have the speech for 5 to 7 minutes. For 5 minutes, I will display the green card. 6 yellow, 7 red. The speaker equally has 30 seconds to round off the speech. And last but not least, we have a speech slated for 18 to 22 minutes. When the speaker has spoken for 18 minutes, I will share the green card, 20 minutes, the yellow card, and 22 minutes, the red card will be displayed. The speaker has 30 seconds to round off the speech. Then for the evaluation segment, usually for 2 to 3 minutes, once the evaluator has spoken for 2 minutes, the green, 2 minutes and a half, the yellow, and 3, the red. The evaluator has 30 seconds to stop speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very wise that we adhere to the cards when they are displayed so that we can enjoy the meeting and leave the meeting at 6. That is my role, and I hope you join me to play it as well. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, our timekeeper for today. It would not be me if I do not remark that all those who have introduced their roles as members of the evaluation team have indeed done so sagaciously. Having said that, I'd like to now hand over to Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day, please.
Can we give our chief evaluator a virtual round of applause? I want to see the emojis on the screen. Many thanks to you, our sagacious general evaluator, chief evaluator. I must say,
sagacious.
Your team, you and your team were super sagacious at explaining your role. And I'm personally ignited a kind of flame in me. Without no further ado, we are moving to usually supposed to be the extemporaneous speaking segment, but we don't have that segment for today. We'll be moving to the educational segment, where speakers will be presenting to us their prepared speeches. I'm sure they are going to be sagacious ones. And the first on my list that will be giving us a speech today is Toastmaster Abigail Akanu. And before I will introduce her, I would like to introduce a speech evaluator. A speech evaluator is a wellness consultant, an astute administrator. She's a past Area 19 director and the immediate past president of Merit Toastmasters Club. She's a loving and an ebullient, sweet mommy. She is GTM Monisola. You may have the virtual letter as you explain to us the objectives of Toastmaster Abigail's speech.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, for that very warm and kind introduction. This evening, I shall be welcoming Toastmaster Abigail Okeke formally to our club. A warm place, a pleasant place to be. What a sagacious decision you took, Toastmaster Okeke, for deciding to begin to tell us who you are so that we can know what we can take from you and show to you what you can take from us on this part of your mastery in communication. Your task is to let us know you and be assured that we're going to welcome you. As you do this, we also wish that you learn the basic structure of a public speech. At the end of your speech, in a kind and welcoming way, we shall appreciate your values and recommend to you what can lead you to mastery. The general evaluator.
Thank you most graciously, DTM Monisola, for that sagacious explanation of the objective of Toastmasters Abigail speech. Toastmaster Abigail is
Madam TMOD, please allow me to mention a point of order. Abigail has declined the privilege to speak. Let's move on to speaker number 2, please.
All right, thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Craig, for that feedback. Yes, our next speaker for today is Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja. He must be my brother. Yes. And his evaluator is a registered surveyor. He provides surveying services to help individuals and organizations to pursue their land procurement and little registration needs. Oh, wow. So if I want to buy a land now, I will need to come to you, Toastmaster Ibrahim. Toastmaster Ibrahim Ajani, please welcome to the virtual lesson as you explain to us the objective of Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja's speech. You may have the virtual lesson.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Ibrahim.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I
we
can.
Okay, thank you very much. The purpose of Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja's speech is for her to practice the use of vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. The duration of our speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of our speech is How Frank Got His Life Back. The title of our speech is How Frank Got His Life Back, and it's back to you to the Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ibrahim, for that very succinct explanation of the speech purpose. Now, I would like to introduce to us our speaker. Our speaker is a writer and a corporate trainer who is specialized in leadership and emotional intelligence. Besides, she is passionate about women issues. She enjoys rice and father stew. Oh, wow. Our speech title, as earlier said, How Frank Got His Life Back. Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja, How Frank Got His Life Back. You may have the virtual.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for that warm welcome, Toastmaster of the Day. Good afternoon, distinguished members, guests, and friends of the Merry Toastmasters Club. When the purpose of the thing is unknown, said Miles Monroe of blessed memory, abuse is inevitable. If you do not know your worth or your value, those who do will take advantage of your ignorance and use it for their own purposes. The title of my speech today is How Frank Got His Life Back. Frank stretched and turned over as his alarm went off. It was 4 a.m., but he had to get up if he would get to work on time. Today was a special day, at least for him, if not for everyone else. It was the 3rd anniversary of his start date at the Thomas Media Company, but that was not what made it special. As Frank got ready for the day, he cast his mind back to his first day on the job. He was full of anticipation and excitement. This would be Thomas Media, the dream workplace of every entrant into the media and publicity industry. He was exultant. But Frank's joy was short-lived. He soon found out that the Thomas Media was not a great dream workplace. It was a toxic, pressurized environment created by none other than Tehila Thomas, the managing director who had taken over the reins of the company from his father. TT, as he was popularly known, was a mean boss, fastidious, difficult, and discourteous. He made sure to make all his employees know that he had the power over the future of their careers, as he could call up any of his contacts within the industry and forestall any future employment if he needed to. And they believed him. They had no reason not to. So people hardly resigned from the Thomas Company, except TT sacked them or let them go. The only good thing about working at the Thomas Media was the competitive and steady salary, as long as the work experience on the job. As his personal assistant, Frank felt the full weight of TT's pressure. His work hours knew no closing time, no weekends or holidays. He had to get to TT's house at 6:30 every morning, and he could be called upon at any odd hour if TT felt he needed his assistance. He barely had time for anything else, not even for his girlfriend of 6 years. He had planned to propose to her a year after starting his job at the Thomas Media, but he soon realized that he would be subjecting her to a life of loneliness. And so he had to put that on hold. A less understanding woman would have called off the relationship, but Tracy had endured and stuck with him. About 6 months ago, Frank took one hard, long look at his life, and he knew he could not continue as it was. He had to do something about it. He needed a plan. And so he went to his uncle, a sagacious man who was his mentor. His uncle came up with a 3-step plan, and Frank had spent the last few months arduously working towards achieving his goals, towards achieving that plan. And today was the culminating part of that plan. He had looked forward to this day with relish, and that was what made the day special. As the taxi dropped him off at the gate of TT's house, Frank took a deep breath, adjusted his tie, and smiled to himself. About an hour later, TT called him upstairs to his personal study and asked him to carry things he needed for his meeting into the car. As TT barked, as he walked up the stairs, TT barked, "Hurry up, I don't have all day." And as he turned back, Frank handed him a letter. "This is for you, sir." TT snatched the envelope as he tore it open. His eyes grew wide before his face crumpled with disgust. "What is this, Frank?" "Sir, I am offering my resignation letter. This is 2 months' notice of my of my decision to resign. This should give you enough time to hire a replacement and for me to train them effectively." You obviously don't know what you're saying. "Are you threatening me, Frank?" "No, sir, this is just my resignation. I would never threaten you." And so, "I would never threaten you," Frank said. "You better take this back before I change my mind. My mind is made up, sir." said Frank. You think it's easy out there? You think it's easy out there? You will struggle, I tell you. It's a battlefield out there, PT said, as he gestured towards the things that Frank needed to take into the car. Frank felt light and confident for the first time in many years as he walked towards the car. About a week later, TT called him into his office, and for the first time in 3 years, offered him a seat. Sit down, Frank. Why are you leaving us? Sir, I would like to pay attention to other parts of my life. Is this why? Frank, TT asked. Frank answered, yes, sir. TT spent the next 30 minutes probing further and trying to subtly convince Frank to delay his resignation. But Frank's mind was made up. As he went back to his seat, he realized that his uncle's 3-step plan had worked. He had taken the power back from his abuser because he had come up with a fallback plan and gained the confidence he needed to take the decision and take charge of his life. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are being emotionally abused, I believe that you need to learn from Frank. Thank you very much for listening. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Can we give Toastmaster Efe a resounding round of applause? Your hands are not too big. Congratulations, Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja. I must say that you ignited the room with that your speech. In fact, I must say you are a sagacious speaker. Apologies earlier that I thought you are a gentleman. I can see that you are a fine, sagacious lady. Well done. That was, at this moment, speaker. Our second speaker is my own very sagacious brother and friend. And before I introduce him, I would like to introduce his evaluator for his speech. His evaluator I've already introduced earlier is our sagacious chief evaluator, DTM Abayomi. Please kindly grace the virtual letter while you explain to us the objective of Toastmaster Craig's Esawode speech. DTM Abayomi.
Madam TMOD, point of order, please. My evaluator is not the chief evaluator, it's Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo.
Okay. Oh, sorry, apologies. Yes, thank you very much. The evaluator for Toastmaster Craig, I'm so blown away that I want to hear you speak. So I was quick to introduce your general evaluator. Yes, his general evaluator joined Toastmasters in 2013. He is a past Area 19 director and the present program quality director of Division F. Interestingly, he is the Division F director-elect. Join me as I welcome to the virtual lesson, Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo.
Thank you. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Can I be heard, please? Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Toastmaster Craig will deliver a speech from the past Presentation Mastery, Level 5, Project 1. The statement or the purpose of his speech is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Practice developing and presenting a longer speech. He has 18 to 22 minutes for the speech. Can the timer confirm if the provision, Toastmaster Craig, provision has been made for this, right? 18 to 22 minutes, good, perfect. So best of luck. I trust your sagacious judgment.
Thank you very kindly, the DD Toastmaster Jimo, for that sagacious explanation of the objective or speech purpose. Awesome. I would like to introduce to us our speaker. Like I said earlier, is my friend, my sagacious brother. He has actually impacted this journey of mine. In fact, I don't even know how to thank him enough. He's an English doctor, a communication coach, and a professional proofreader. He helps children and adults to achieve proficiency in diction, grammar, vocabulary, and presentation skills. Craig teaches business communication and use of English at First Bank of Nigeria. And what's more, he is the 2021 District 94 Speech Evaluation Champion. And the topic of his speech is the steps. Toastmaster Craig, I can see you. You may have the virtual lecture.
A handful of months after I joined the organization of Toastmasters in 2017, it dawned on me that its educational system and evaluation are inextricably intertwined. In other words, we as Toastmasters rely on the instrument of evaluation to lift each other up. Little wonder it has been said that evaluation is a free education to excellence. The Toastmaster, thank you very kindly for the sagacity of your introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, what comes to mind when evaluation is mentioned in your hearing? Growth, self-confidence, positive, supportive, empower, value, impact, educate, motivate, elevate. All of these elements are an encapsulation of an insightful, meaningful, and useful speech evaluation. In 2020, I partook in the Toastmasters speech evaluation contest. I had high expectations. And when I reached the division level, all of my expectations came to naught. I was distressed, distraught, and discombobulated. Ladies and gentlemen, it took the persuasive abilities of distinguished Toastmaster Monisola Ayeshimoju, the sagacious guidance of distinguished Toastmaster Bayomi Ayeshimoju, and the unflinching support of my club to rise from the trash can of vanquishment to the oases of triumph on the 21st of May last year at the district annual conference. More concretely, I learned an awful lot along the way through explorative researches and deliberate practice. And today, I'm going to share some crucial tips with you that you can employ or incorporate to deliver an evaluation that will make a difference. If you are ready for that, please give me the thumbs up like this. Okie dokie then. What I have done to make things as easy as ABC for you is to divide these tips into something called steps. steps. One more time, steps. You are wondering, what is the demystification of steps? Well, S is for summation, T is for transition, E is for examples or evidence, P is for personal language, and the last S is for smile. Let's delve into them one by one. Number one, summation. As an effective speech evaluator, it is of paramount significance for you to think of summation when you are structuring your evaluation. It would only take 15 or 10 seconds of your time. A summation is a condensed version of the highlights of your evaluation speech structure. Let me give you an insight into what an effective summation can sound like. Toastmaster Josephine, you excelled at using rhetorical devices and provocative quotations. In terms of recommendations, you might want to consider paying attention to vocal variation and speech correctness. And I praise you very highly for the eloquence of your lexicon and vocabulary. Ladies and gentlemen, given these points, I emphatically conclude that Josephine has the power to achieve greatness as a speaker. Here is something that most speech evaluators do that is considered to be a tactical error and we must abstain from as effective speech evaluators. Incorporating something that you did not analyze in the body of your evaluation into the summation section. For example, you discussed 5 highlights in the body of your evaluation. And when you're providing a summary to the speaker and to the club as a whole, we are hearing 6 highlights. You excelled at rhetorical devices. You excelled at using quotations. In terms of recommendations, you might want to pay attention to vocal variation, speech correctness, and by the way, your gestures were too many. Reduce your gestures. And I commend you for the eloquence of your vocabulary. This is considered to be a tactical error. If you want to do a summation effectively, address the issues or the elements that you discussed or highlighted in the body or structure of your evaluation. In a Toastmasters contest, permit me to inform you that the summation section of your evaluation speech structure is a whopping 15 points. This means that if you don't do a summation, you have lost a whopping 15 points. Remember, dear competent speakers, to incorporate a summation into your evaluation speech construct or structure. By doing so, you would heighten the retention of the ideas that you analyzed in this body of your evaluation. Number 2, transitions. Here is something I have observed over the past 5 years that I've been a Toastmaster. We tend to rely on the word also and also when we intend to add information in the body of our evaluation. You excelled, for instance, at audience connection. Also, your vocal variety was excellent. Let me tell you something about the word also. Do you know that according to the Longman Dictionary of Common Errors, it is a contravention of grammatical range and accuracy to use the word also to add information when you're speaking or writing? This is the position of the Longman Dictionary of Common Errors. Not only is it a contravention, it hinders or impedes the flow of your evaluation. What types of transitions would I recommend? You might write these ones down. It'll be helpful for you. Furthermore, in addition to that, additionally, on top of that, besides, let me give you an example to crystallize my point. Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo, I observed that you utilized a provocative quotation by Abraham Lincoln. On top of that, you excelled at using vocal variation. When you were telling the story about your mom, I heard your mom's voice when you said, trust is a must, isn't it? You want to use transitions to create order in your evaluation and to upscale the flow of your evaluation construct or structure. Transitions are crucial when it comes to delivering an effective evaluation that will make a difference. Number 3, examples or evidence. A few days ago, I was doing an explorative research and I discovered a particular aphorism. It says that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, one example or one piece of evidence is worth 1,000,000. Providing examples in your evaluation would make your evaluation not only specific, but crystal clear to the speaker and other members of the club that will listen to the evaluation. What I have observed over my years of being a Toastmaster is that we don't provide examples to underpin or to justify the highlights of our evaluation. As a result of that, the evaluation is not crystal clear to the speaker. Let me give you an example. For instance, the speaker told a story and then you say, oh, I love the fact that you told a personal story, versus I was enthralled by the fact that you were able to tell a personal story about how you boarded a plane at 6 a.m. in Chicago. That's a context. I love the fact that you were able to use vocal variation. For instance, when you said this and that. Oh, I love your use of physical gestures. When you said big, your hands were wide open. And because your hands were wide open, they supported your spoken words. You don't want to leave your words hanging. You want to underpin them. You want to justify them by providing specific examples from the speech. Here is something that you would find intriguing. Examples are indispensable to the analytical quality of an effective speech evaluation. And if you're going to look at examples from the scoring template of the Toastmasters speech evaluation contest, it is a whopping what? 40 points. 40 points. 40 points. When I tossed my hat in the ring to compete in the Toastmasters speech evaluation contest on the persuasion of my mother and mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Monisola Ishimaju, it became hot when I got to the division. It became hot. It became hot. And after I won the division, I was going to the district. I knew that I'll be competing with other divisional champions. I delved deeper into researches with the guidance of my father and mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Bayomi Aishimoju. And I discovered something of paramount significance, a structure. What was the structure? Let me share that with you now. First commendation, examples. Second commendation, examples. First recommendation, examples. Second recommendation, examples. Best commendation, examples. I took a decision that I will not mention any element of the speech for which I have no examples to underpin or justify. Because an evaluation, in my view, that is bereft of examples is an evaluation that is bereft of clarity and specificity. Examples. A gentleman called Christopher Hitchens, an American British author, said it eloquently and sagaciously when he remarked that What can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. What can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. My fellow Toastmasters, distinguished leaders, and competent speakers, please consider providing examples or evidence when you're evaluating a speech. Your evaluation will come across as helpful, insightful, and useful to the speaker, particularly when you're even giving recommendations. Oh, I want you to work on your vocal variation. Why don't you highlight areas in the speech where the speaker could have used vocal variation? Or work on your body language. Why don't you highlight areas, specific areas in the speech where the speaker could have used body language to enhance the impact of that piece of rhetoric? That would be more helpful to the speaker. Number 3, personal language. Personal language. Oh, you were able to engage us. You took us on a journey. Hello. You are not an ambassador of the audience. Your views are not representative of the audience. I could have my opinion about the speech. Speak for yourself. And in an evaluation, you are sharing your personal opinions. It is therefore sagacious to personalize your language. You took me on a journey. I was enthralled by the opening of your speech. I was enthralled by the resounding finale or conclusion of the speech. My reaction was, you engaged me, I. As effective speech evaluators, it is sagacious for us to befriend those words, I, me, as opposed to speaking on behalf of the audience by using we and us. There is one more thing that is crucial when it comes to an evaluation. If you can, please smile. Smile. Remember to smile. It has been said that smiling is the universal language of kindness. A smile is your messenger of goodwill. In my humble estimation, when you smile, when delivering an evaluation to a speaker, it creates that aura of positivity around your speech evaluation. When you smile, it creates that aura of endearment for your evaluation. Remember that the mission of a Toastmasters club, according to the guidelines of Toastmasters International, is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment where we can develop our self-confidence and personal growth. Smiling is therefore a crucial element when it comes to delivering an evaluation. This has something to do with technique in the scoring template of a speech evaluation contest. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Technique is a whopping 15 points in the rubric of the Toastmasters speech evaluation contest. 15 points. Consequently, I would encourage or admonish all of you, distinguished leaders and competent speakers, that to provide an evaluation that will help the speaker, you can incorporate a bit of smiling. It will cause your evaluation to be non-threatening. All right. let's have a summation of all of the tips that I have discussed with you thus far. 1, summation. 2, transitions. 3, examples or evidence. 4, personal language. And 5, smile. Distinguished leaders, competent speakers, sagacious guests. The next time you want to deliver an evaluation that would stimulate change, drive impact, and propel excellence, please incorporate the steps. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Craig, a resounding round of applause. Can I hear more hands? It's only my hand I can hear. Okay, if your hands are busy, you can use the emoji, please. I am totally lost for words to praise you, Toastmaster Craig. Congratulations for that sagacious delivery of that speech. I'm particularly in love with your perspective of speech evaluation, I must say. I've been trying over time to inculcate it. His sagacity is worth emulating. Thank you so much. In fact, it has actually inflamed it has actually ignited the flame of speech evaluation in me. I'll be evaluating everybody's speech with all of these tips that I've gotten. My books is filled up. At this time, we'll move over to our timer, our sagacious timer, to give us a sagacious report of the timing of how our speakers have used time, if they have used time sagaciously. It is over to you, Toastmaster Craig. Toastmaster Francis.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have judiciously and sagaciously used time perfectly to the best of my capacity. And for the speakers, F.A. Fagbeja spoke for 8 minutes and 4 seconds, while Craig Esowode spoke for 19 minutes and 7 seconds. In that regard, Toastmaster Craig is automatically the winner of the prepared speeches segment due to time overshot by Toastmaster F.A. Fagbeja. Over to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Francis, for that sagacious report of the time spent by our speakers. Like you already announced, we already have the winner of our speaking segment for today, Toastmaster Craig Esowode, the English doctor. Can you join me? If your hands are not too busy, please. I want a resounding one. Can I hear it? If not, we will not move from here today. Join me, distinguished Toastmasters and guests, and give our English doctor a resounding round of applause. All right. We will now move to, thank you so much, distinguished Toastmasters and esteemed guests. We will now move to the evaluation segment of the meeting. And I will be introducing or bringing back our chief evaluator, which is GTM Abayomi, as he calls up his role players to tell us on how well we have done in today's meeting. Join me with a virtual round of applause as I welcome DTM Abayomi to the virtual lecture.
Thank you. our Toastmaster of the day. It's nice to be back at the lectern. We have only 2 evaluators who will be evaluating the 2 stages that have been given. In fact, one of the reports was also a training. May I ask Toastmaster Ibrahim to please evaluate Toastmaster Efe? Toastmaster Ibrahim, please. See there? Volume, no audio.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I will now proceed to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja. The title of that speech was How Frank Got His Life Back. And the speech was about a man called Frank who had this dream job but had a very terrible boss. This is a normal story that occurs very often.
Cup of water.
But eventually he got his life back when he dropped his resignation letter. I would like us to give another round of applause to Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja for the wonderful job she did while delivering the speech. Thank you very much. I'll go straight to the commendation. I like the fact that while delivering and that helped us to understand that she took the speech really seriously. She had a moderately good use of vocal variety when she talked about the name of the company that Frank joined. She was so excited about it. She showed so much enthusiasm. The Thomas Media Company. Her enthusiasm while mentioning the name really passed the message across that the company itself is a very lucrative company. Another moment of brilliance she had in the use of body language was when she described how Frank stretched on his first day of the job. The purpose of our speech is to demonstrate the use of vocal variety and body language. And up to that time, she really did great. I'll proceed to the recommendation. One thing I realized about the speech was that it came across to me as if she was reading a novel. It felt as if Frank was a distant person to me. If she had said Frank was his brother or Frank was our romantic partner, that would give me a reason to pay more attention to the speech because I would feel like there is a personal connection to that. And I'll be more emotionally invested in the speech. When a speech is personal, it helps the audience to pay more attention. And that is one thing I would like Toastmaster Efe to pay attention to. Another recommendation is the fact that I felt like she had a lot of important characters on the speech that she could have developed more. She could have told us more about Frank as a person, to describe them very well so that we can really get a good sense of the kind of person that Frank was. Well, to conclude with another commendation, I would say I really enjoyed our speech, especially the moment towards the end when Frank dropped his resignation letter, and I could really feel the sadness in his voice and the relief afterwards when Titi, his job sat him down and his speech came to a close. I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Efe for the wonderful job she did while delivering that speech. Thank you very much. And it's back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much. May I now ask Toastmaster kindly evaluate Toastmaster Craig's training.
Thank you, DTM Aisha. It's always a pleasure being here at Mary Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Craig did an amazing job. The beginning of the speech was appealing. I love what he did when he started with a handful of months. After I joined, it got my attention. It appealed to me. Additionally, I like what Toastmaster Craig did with several words or elements that he used: captivate, educate, elevate, and he kept on listing about 6 of them. Toastmaster Craig used the word of the day several times. I counted 3. Is it possible I missed any? Maybe. Sagacious. The comparison within a trash can on one hand and how he did it, and oasis of triumph on the other, and then he looked up and the likes. It created an image in my mind. He didn't just stop there. He did something with his points. He kind of itemized them into steps: summation, transition, examples or evidence, personal language, and smile. A smile that he had almost throughout the entirety of his speech. One last point he did that I loved the most was the pause towards the end. It was impactful. You see, at first, it got me thinking that, did Craig just forgot his lines? But I quickly snapped out of that thought the moment I noticed that that was tactical, something he picked out from the points he had mentioned earlier. Recommendations I would have for Craig would be this. So as an evaluator, I felt the speech was designed, or should I say constructed, to pass a message to me, like a personal message to me. Working around it would be avoid using me as an example. At some point, you mentioned me to Toastmaster. Okay, is he trying to pass a message to me? I felt using someone else, another name, for instance, Toastmaster Ibrahim's name, would also make other persons feel more like the speech is also for them and not solely targeted at the evaluator. Additionally, my second and last recommendation, for an 18 to 22 minutes speech, a brief story would work magic into making the message stick more. The message was filled with quotes, amazing, or filled with examples and what have you. But imagine squeezing in a brief story that would work magic and make the message stick more to people. You know, I had fun listening to you, more fun than a barrel of monkey, if you ask me. Your technique to summarize the points at the end was stunning. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Craig. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Oh, thank you very much. I was muted. At this point in time, we would like to hear from the timekeeper for the day, how the evaluators fared regarding time.
Thank you, DTM, for requesting that I provide the time spent by the evaluators. Ajani Ibrahim evaluated for 3 minutes, 52 seconds, while Abdullahi Jimo evaluated for 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Over to you, DTM.
Thank you. You said Ibrahim evaluated for how many minutes? You said 3?
Yes, 3 minutes, 52 seconds.
3 minutes, 52 seconds.
seconds.
Okay. that means that really it was only Toastmaster Lahi who kept within the allotted time. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Good. And that means we are spared the need for any voting.
Again, sir.
Yes. So we know who the winner of the evaluation voting is on this occasion. That saves us time too. Thank you very much. It is now time for the evaluation team to very succinctly, sagaciously, and briefly give us their feedback, starting with the R counter. Please. Toastmaster Razak Odejayi. Shall we move on to the language evaluator? The language evaluator.
Thank you very kindly, the general evaluator, for sagaciously relinquishing the spotlight. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, this is my feedback. This meeting, I would say, was perfectly conducted to the point where I was only able to identify very few areas where improvements are needed. Now, for the good use of grammar, there were examples where people, Toastmasters, and made use of very good words and grammar and phrases. For example, Toastmaster Kubi used the phrase building the capacity to listen. Toastmaster Bayomi used the sentence succinct introduction. And then there was a cheerful applause also by Toastmaster Abayomi. Toastmaster Josephine used the word succinct, and Toastmaster Ife used the word fastidious and discourteous. Fastidious meaning being able to pay attention to detail. And I felt those were brilliant words of brilliant use of words, phrases, and sentences. But what areas do I think we need to improve upon? Like I said, very few of them, two specifically. And the first is the word evaluation or evaluator. The letter E is actually pronounced like an I. So it should be evaluator or evaluation and not evaluation. So it should be evaluation or evaluator. And then as we speak, I would also encourage that we pay attention to the use of present tenses and past tenses. If you're not paying so much attention, you could mistakenly use a past tense where you're supposed to use a present tense. And I observed that in the speech of a Toastmaster. So just to pay attention to that. And lastly, to the word of the day, the use of the word of the day, I must say that there was a copious use of the word of the day. Toastmaster Badru used this twice. Toastmaster Bayomi 3 times. Toastmaster Monisola once. Toastmaster Ife once. Toastmaster Jimo once. Toastmaster Craig 6 times. And Toastmaster Josephine used it a whopping 15 times. So that makes Toastmaster Josephine the winner of the use of the word of the day. So thank you very much and well done, Toastmaster Josephine. And that is back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much. That's a gracious report on your role. I can see Toastmaster Razak Odejayi on the list of participators. Is he back to be able to give us a report on our counting?
Yeah, very well, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I was out of the meeting before. So this evening, I only managed to report very little accounting. Toastmaster A.K. Fabija used just once, and he sounded he once as well. Then Toastmaster Craig sounded vocal just once. And that brings me just to the end of my record. I want to commend every speaker this evening for their audacious presentation. Back to you, Mr. General Director.
Thank you very much, our counter. Perhaps we should now go on and hear the quizmaster. Or rather, let's have the timekeeper at this point in time. The timekeeper is Francis Dehiabi.
No further reports, General Evaluator. We are well within time limit.
Excellent. Excellent. Just as well. So, distinguished Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga, what quizzes do you have for us?
All right, thank you, General Evaluator. I have just about 3 quizzes, and trust me, they are all pretty simple if you listen. The first question goes this way. If the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Who can this quote be ascribed to? If the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Who can this statement be ascribed to?
Miles Morrow.
Wonderful. Right on the money, Dr. Miles Monroe. Now, the second speaker recommended a number of words that could be used for transitions. Can anybody mention 2 or 3 of those words? In the second speaker's presentation, he recommended a certain number of words that could be used for transitions. Can anybody remember those words?
Additionally,
on top of that,
so can we take it one at a time? Who's speaking now?
okay, can I go?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I said on top of that, furthermore, in addition, I remember those 3.
That is spot on, just Toastmaster Fabija. He also recommended the use of the word besides. Now, my third and final question. Also from the presentation given by the second speaker, he said that an evaluation that is bereft of examples is an evaluation that is bereft of what? An evaluation that is bereft of examples is an evaluation that is bereft of what? It is bereft of 2 words, something and something. Who remembers those words? No, I'm going to help everyone out. An evaluation that is bereft of examples. You want to say that? Who is that, please?
I said purpose, am I correct?
Pretty close, but not.
Is this evidence? Is this evidence?
You're close. Anyway, let me put all of us out of our miseries. An evaluation that is bereft of examples is an evaluation that is bereft of clarity and evidence. That was said by our second speaker, Toastmaster Craig O. Esowode. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the art of improving our listening skills is an ongoing concern, and I encourage everyone to continue working on this because excellent listening is the apotheosis of sagacity in interpersonal communication. Back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the quiz, which has challenged everyone of us to continue to listen attentively wherever we may be. So much learning, and in your choice of questions, you have just salient examples of what could have been learned, and if not learned, then missed in the training. Thank you very much. This has been a very wonderful meeting. I'm grateful for the opportunity of being asked to be the general evaluator. Because the evaluation of the meeting started before the meeting, at which point I noticed that even from some 15 minutes to the meeting commencement, as is expected in Toastmasters, the officials who were present were already welcoming those who were there. That makes a very important impression for somebody coming to a meeting for the first time. And I also noticed that there was an attempt at interpersonal interaction already going on before the meeting. Just as the meeting was about to start, there were 14 of us present. It soon became 16. 26. This means that quite a number of people joined the meeting after it had started. We should try to improve. All of us should try and have maximum benefit from every meeting by being there before it begins, in there till it ends. The introductory phase of the meeting was professionally executed, particularly inspired by the inspirational speech of our president and the way he eloquently introduced the Toastmaster. I was also impressed by the fact that the Toastmaster of the day spoke to the theme of the meeting. Of Toastmasters and of the meeting. In the course of the meeting, on occasions where we heard echoes and crackling from certain voices, anyone, but it is worth mentioning that if we can avoid these things, it should be avoided. The evaluation team was sagacious and thorough, very effective. They were professional in the way they did the introduction of their roles. And as for the speeches and training, this was well conducted. And it was obvious that those who spoke prepared well for their roles And I found the training in particular to be world class. And I'm hoping that this has been recorded and that we shall have the record of that training. I tell you, if you go and listen to that training again, you have a lot to gain. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity of doing that. I was also happy the way the Toastmaster of the day managed a mistake she made with humor. Humor is a big problem solver. In fact, a big problem eliminator and a big problem dissolver. That is something we should aspire to be able to use, humor. The evaluation segment was also striking in the sense that I noticed those who evaluated, to correct my own pronunciation, already made use of what they gained from the training session and the evaluation. To learn on our feet as we go along. In all, this has been a well-conducted, well-performed meeting, and I look forward to being at another Merit Toastmasters meeting again. May I now hand back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, we appreciate you, our father and the chief evaluator, for your sagacity in the manner in which you and your team played your role. It is worth emulating. You have proved yourself a sagacious leader, I must say. Many thanks to you. Yes, at this moment, I would like our trophy master to plaster on our screen, on our screens. We have different screens. The certificates, let me call it like Toastmaster Craig, of excellence for our speakers for today. Our trophy master. Can you hear me? Yes. Kindly plaster on the screen the certificates of excellence for our speakers of today. Thank you. Here you have it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Merit Toastmasters Club Awards of Excellence. Today, we celebrate you for your sagacious decision on your evaluator and speaker of the evening. Without delay, let us give a round of applause to our Best Speaker Award winner, none other than Craig Okeshewube. Not to be outdone, our evaluator of the evening, Abdullah Demo. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Merit Toastmasters, thank you for participating in this evening's experience. Now back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Hats off to you, Toastmaster, Trophy Master. That's so spiffy, awesome, great one. I loved it. Even if I was not giving, I was feeling like my teeth was shining. Even if you check, my shoes shine. Awesome. Many thanks to you, Merit Toastmasters Club, for this sagacious opportunity to serve as the Toastmaster of the day. It is really an honor and great pleasure. I must say, I had an amazing time. In the words of George R. Martins, the brightest flame casts the darkest shadow. I will reiterate. The brightest flame casts the darkest shadow. And I will ask, why not ignite or ignite or fan your flame. And it's back to you, the president of this amazing club, GTM Kubi Uyanga. You may have the virtual floor.
Let's all give a resounding applause for our ebullient and sagacious Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster, the ebullient Josephine Agolo. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Josephine Agolo, for giving us a very enjoyable, humor-filled, and sagacious meeting with that very, very, very succinct way that you guided us through the different events of the meeting from the beginning to this benedictory portion of the meeting. We are very grateful that you have spared your time to come and dazzle us and give quality to our meeting today. I want to also thank Toastmaster Derek Gasharo, Toastmaster Ibrahim Ajani, Toastmaster Abdullahi Jimo, Toastmaster Isaac, and all other visiting Toastmasters who have come all the way to add credence and sparkle to our meeting today. And of course, not forgetting the most important people on the call today, our guests who have come to fellowship with us. Before we have a word from the guests that have come to join us, I just want to share just 2 pieces of announcements. And that is to put in view 3 dates in the month of June, which is the 9th of June, the 10th, and the 11th of June. On the 9th of June, we shall hold our first regular meeting of Merry Toastmasters Club. And of course, we want everyone to make it a date. And on the 10th and 11th of June, we shall hold the Toastmasters Nigeria Conference in the city of Abuja. And for anyone who has never been to a Toastmasters conference, this is a good opportunity to come together, revel in the fellowship of Toastmasters from Division F, Division K, and Division E. And if you would love to have made it to the district conference, but you couldn't make it there, this is an opportunity to, of course, come to a gathering of Toastmasters to learn, to revel, and of course, have fun together. That event comes up on the 10th and the 11th of June in Abuja. And of course, if you liaise with the club executive, they will give you different options on plans and information that will guide your attendance. At this point, I'd like to give our guests an opportunity to share some words. Are you here for the very first time? Would you like to say a few words in under a minute? Let me start with the gentleman with the salt and pepper beard. I can see the handsome man, Derek Gasharo. Please, can you tell us just a few words in, of course, your remarks?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. You are quite sagacious, for you know how to stroke one's ego quite well. Thank you. It was indeed a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I was asked by Craig to participate, and I graciously accepted. I enjoyed the overall presentation of the meeting, even though I would have joined whilst in transit, and was able to sit down and perform or present a trophy presentation, which I enjoyed immensely. As you can tell, that is my one opportunity to shine as a radio personality or voice personality, my lifelong dream. And here I am, being able to do it in Toastmasters. Isn't Toastmasters wonderful? If you're not already a Toastmaster, this is the place where your dreams can be realized. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you, Derek, for joining us. And I must confess that myself, and I believe everyone else on the call, thoroughly enjoyed your presentation of the trophies this evening. Next on the radar, I can see Abdul Wahab Akinlade. Abdul Wahab Akinlade, do you want to say a few words in under a minute? Abdul Wahab, are you there? while Abdul Wahab comes on, I can see a Joel Daniel. Joel, are you joining us for the first time? Oh, not the first time. Oh, you've been here a number of times coming from London. Thank you for joining us again today. Last, definitely not the least, I would like to give Toastmaster Isaac, our grammarian for today, an opportunity to share a few remarks. Toastmaster Isaac, wants to say a few words.
Thank you very kindly, the sagacious DTM Kubi Uyanga. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Toastmaster Isaac, and I'm from Ikeja Toastmasters Club, and I was requested by Toastmaster Craig, the sagacious Toastmaster Craig, to attend your meeting today and play the role of the grammarian. And of course, even as the grammarian, I've learned immensely in your meeting today. You know, in the meeting of every Toastmasters Club, there is always something to take away. There is always something to learn. So I've learned immensely today in your meeting, and I look forward to subsequent opportunities to be able to attend your meetings. Thank you very much, DTM Kobe.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Isaac. I must say that, of course, we learned from your evaluation, and of course, we are also wowed by the dulcet tones of your beautiful voice. Ladies and gentlemen, having completed all the actions on the agenda of our regular meeting, I'd like to move the motion for this meeting to be adjourned until the 9th of June 2022. Anybody seconding this motion?
I second the motion.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for seconding the motion. The regular meeting is closed. Emeritus Masters, please do not log off the call because we have a business meeting that starts shortly after this meeting to elect the executive committee for our club for the new year, which is 2022 and 2023. I can see we have Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Bayomi Ayeshimoju, Toastmaster Lucy Chima, distinguished Toastmaster Monishola Ayeshimoju, Toastmaster Anjola Olua Badaru, Razak Odejayi, Toastmaster Ife Fabeja, Toastmaster Victoria Shomade, Toastmaster Craig O. Esowode. That makes us 5. That means we are 9 of us here. So please, can we back channel and
that's also Elizabeth Disu, please.
Oh yes, I counted her.
Already, okay.
That makes 9 of us, and we still have a couple of guests on the call. So before we call the meeting to order, I believe the guests would have left by then, but I encourage everyone to back channel and get a couple more members in good standing to attend so that we can form a quorum and proceed. I'll do that now.
Hello, President.
Yes, Dr. President.
Yes, are we waiting for something?
Oh yes, I'm trying to reach a couple of Toastmasters to ensure we get to the number 13.
Wow.
As it stands, it looks like we are 11 here.
All right, let's see. Is anybody trying to reach OB?
I'm reaching the Toastmaster I know now.
Very good. Let me see if I can get OB.
Hello, Simon.
How are we faring, President?
Okay, Toastmasters Abigail Okeke promised to join about now. Let me check if she's on the call.
Obi says he is in traffic, he should be joining later, but I don't know if that will be before the point of voting. Is that the Febogon on the corner?
That's what I'm trying to find out. This was Febogon, is that you?
There's an Olufumilayo there. And indeed, I'm not so sure that she's not able to join. She can't even join virtually, otherwise she would have joined us.
I'm reaching out to Toastmaster Valadino now.
I couldn't get a boom that made her. The number was engaged.
When I called her, it rang out without her picking up.
Was ringing. Good evening, everyone. Sorry to bother you. Are you able to just join this meeting so that I can have a call? We're electing right now, but we need a call.
How have things been? Appeared you were too busy. You were not able to join the regular meeting today.
Thank you very much. Sorry to disturb you. Okay.
Okay, yes.
We'll be logging in now.
Even bother calling you. But now, can you join the business meeting? It's not going to last more than maybe 15 minutes just to do the election. Even if you can't turn on your video, we just need you to be in attendance, please. We are waiting. Okay, because the challenge we have now is not imperative that you join, but we cannot hold that meeting if we don't form a quorum. And a quorum must be a simple majority of the paid members. And as it stands now, we still need like 2 more members to join for us to make a quorum. Well, if you ultimately cannot, there's not much I can do about that. It's okay. Okay.
No President will be joining soon, and Ifebogu will be joining.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So if Ifebogu joins,
and Ebu should join anytime now. Ebu Dameda, she's joining anytime now too.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is Olufumilayo, please?
I wondered. I thought that was the Ifebogu, but I've called her. But I called her now.
I think it's someone else that hasn't.
She says there she go. She's there now.
So we have to remove Olufumilayo now.
Because I wonder who that is. She'd like to identify herself.
We've been asking, but I think the person isn't attentive to their device. I think they attended the meeting, but I'm not paying attention to the right now.
So we have 14 now.
I think we have a forum now. We have a quorum.
Oh, yes, we do. We have a quorum now.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening.
Okay. Good evening.
Right, so thank you for your patience while we, of course, it's no news that from the 1st of July, the new Toastmasters year resumes, and with that resumption, a new executive committee will be in charge of our club. That is why we have to hold this business meeting to elect the new executive committee that will take charge of the club from July the 1st. And to steer the proceedings, I'd like to invite our immediate past president and the chairman of the club leadership nomination committee to come and continue the proceedings of this meeting. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Monishola Ayeshimoju.
President, the Charter President, cherished members of Merry Toastmasters, thank you for ensuring that the flag of Merry Toastmasters continues to soar. This evening, we're holding a meeting that is mandatory. Worldwide, Toastmasters International requests that by the 31st of May, every Felde club must submit a list of new executive members. At our last meeting, I gave a report on the diligent work of the leadership committee, which is comprised of the charter president, our mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Rashida Saliu Bello, and I, serving as the immediate past president of our club. The names of our members who are willing to serve us during the next mandate were shared with those present at that meeting. We also tried to reach out to other members, and we brought it to their notice that every member of this club has a right to rise up at this gathering to express their desire to serve. Where we have more than one candidate for any position, members present will vote. After the election would have been concluded, that list, the list of the elected officers, shall be sent to Toastmasters International. And this mandatory exercise scores Merry Toastmasters a 0.5 score of her traditional 10/10 score that earns her the president's distinguished club. If there are no questions, I shall request that the names of the nominee for your executive positions for the next mandate be shared, and that we have any member unmute his or herself and express a desire to serve if they so wish. Thank you. The President. Is the President still on the call?
Right here, IPP.
Please, are you in a position to share the list, or do I have the VP there? I saw the VP logged out. I don't know whether he's back.
Okay, I can share the list now, ma'am.
Okay, he's sharing it. She's back.
Okay. All right.
Our VP is back. He's sharing the screen.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you. He's sharing the list. Thank you. Please, can we all see the names of the nominees? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
May I just, oh, thank you. For the position of the president, we have our own house, the English doctor, Dr. Craig Esowode, as the president nominee. Is there anybody in the house who would like to contest this position? Is there anyone in the house who would like to contest the position of the president with TM Craig Esowode? Since there's nobody contesting this position, on your behalf, I thank Toastmaster Craig Esowode for his willingness to continue to give of his best to our club. Thank you, Toastmaster Craig Esowode. Thank you very much. Can we recognize him by clapping to applaud this selfless give of himself? Thank you. Our VPE nominee is Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho. Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho regrettably is unable to join us today. But as it is in her habit to give selflessly, she has agreed to serve Mary's Toastmasters as the Vice President Education in the year 2022-2023. We thank her for agreeing to be nominated, but we must, at this meeting, request of any member who will also wish to serve in this position to kindly unmute and express their wish. Is there anybody present at this meeting who would like to serve our dear club as the Vice President Education in the year 2022 to 2023? If there is none, on your behalf, I thank Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho for agreeing to serve us as our Vice President Education in the coming tenure. Thank you very much for recognizing her. And for the position of Vice President membership, nominated is our own dear Toastmaster Victoria Shomade. Toastmaster Shomade has agreed to selflessly help our club during this coming
No, you are disturbing me. Go and sit down.
Should there be anybody present who has a desire to serve the club as Vice President Vice President membership in the year 2022-2023 Toastmasters year, kindly unmute and express your desire. Should there be anybody in the house who has a desire to serve Mary Toastmasters as the Vice President membership in the year 2022-2023 coming tenure, kindly unmute and express your desire. Since there is nobody who has expressed such desire on your behalf, we appreciate Toastmaster Victoria Shomade for agreeing to serve our club during the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year. Kindly join me in recognizing her. Thank you. For the position of Vice President Public Relations, our own very dear Dr. Love, Dr. Ebida Melder, has agreed to continue to serve and help us in this respect. Should there be any member of the House who has a desire to serve and help as Vice President Public Relations during the 2022-2023 program Toastmasters year, kindly unmute and express such a desire. Is there anybody in the house who has a desire to serve as Vice President Public Relations during the 2022-2023 program Toastmasters year in the house? Since there's nobody wishing to serve in that position, kindly appreciate Toastmaster Ebu Damilde, who has agreed to continue to serve us in that position. For the position of Secretary, Toastmaster Rasak Odejayi has agreed to serve and help during the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year. Should there be anybody in the house who wishes to serve as Secretary in the year 2022-2023 Toastmasters year, kindly unmute and let the house know your desire. Is there anybody in the house who has a desire to serve the club as Secretary during the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year? If there is none, kindly join me in appreciating Toastmaster Rasak Odejayi. Thank you. As Treasurer, continue to serve as Treasurer during the year 2022-2023 Toastmasters program. Toastmaster Lucy Chima has agreed to continue to serve our club. Should there be any member present who would like to serve in this position, kindly unmute and express your wish. Is there any member in the house who has a desire to serve the club as treasurer during the year 2022-2023 Toastmasters year? Since there is none, kindly join me in appreciating Toastmaster Lucy Chima. As Sergeant at Arms during the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year, we have nominated Toastmaster Val Adinu Lovett Adaobi. Should there be any member present who would like to serve as Sergeant at Arms? Kindly unmute and let the house know your wish. Is there anybody present who has a wish to serve as Sergeant at Arms during the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year, apart from the nominee? If there is none, kindly please let us all give Toastmaster Val Adinu Lovett Adaobi a sounding round of applause. On your behalf, I congratulate our President-elect, Toastmaster Craig Esowode, our Vice President Education, Vice President Education-elect, Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho, our Vice President Membership-elect, Toastmaster Victoria Shomade, our Vice President Public Relations-elect, Toastmaster Ebida Meldia, our Vice President, our Secretary-elect, Toastmaster Rasak Odejai, our Treasurer-elect, Toastmaster Lucy Chima, our Sergeant at Arms-elect, Toastmaster Val Adinu Lovett Adaobi. I wish you all the best as we look forward to the coming Toastmasters here. Thank you very much. Thank you, members of Merry Toastmasters, and thank you to our new elected officers. The President.
Thank you very much, our mother, our immediate past president, and our chairman or chairperson of the club leadership nomination committee. I have deep gratitude to you for bringing this assignment to a successful close. I am aware of all the challenges that you have had to surmount to achieve this success. And I say thank you once again, personally and on behalf of the club, thank you. I also want to congratulate our president-elect, Toastmaster Craig Esowode, and the entire executive committee elect, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I am personally happy that the club's leadership has moved to the capable hands of our executive committee elects, because it is people with individuals who have demonstrated capability previously, and we are sure that they will bring that excellence to bear in the affairs of the club in the coming year. I want to thank all the members of the club that have come to witness and be part of this process, for giving us this extra 38 minutes after the end of the regular meeting to see through this very important step in the club's transition. I wish the executive committee elect success that surpasses that of previous executive committees in their coming duties to the club. With growth also, thank you all wish you a brilliant, restful evening and look forward to meeting you at the next meeting of the club on the 9th of June 2022. I want to acknowledge the presence of our past presidents, distinguished Toastmaster Philip Obi, who has just joined us. Distinguished Toastmaster Philip Obi, we got your apologies earlier on when you couldn't join at the beginning of the proceedings. And just to inform you that Mary Toastmasters Club has a new executive committee elect, led by the able Toastmaster Craig Oesode, with the Vice President Education elect, Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho, our Vice President Membership elect, Toastmaster Victoria Shumade, our Vice President Public Relations elect, Toastmaster Ebunda Omelda, our Secretary elect, Toastmaster Razak Odejeyi, our Treasurer elect, Toastmaster Lucy Chima, and our Sergeant at Arms elect, Toastmaster Val Adinu Lovett Adawobi. That is the update, sir. Thank you for joining. Big congratulations, Toastmaster Craig.
Congratulations. Hearty congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone. Wish you a pleasant and restful evening. Goodbye.